Last week, the FBI called Hillary Clinton extremely careless for her handling of classified material on her private email server while Secretary of State. And in interviews on Friday, Clinton admitted it was a mistake while suggesting that the employees and officials who emailed with her were also complicit.
I think there are about 300 people in the government, mostly in the State Department, but in other high positions in the government with whom I emailed over the course of 4 years. They, I believe, did not believe they were sending any material that was classified. They were pursuing their responsibilities. I do not think they were careless, and as I have said many times, I certainly did not believe that I received or sent any material that was classified, and indeed any of the documents that have been referred to I think were not marked or were marked inaccurately, as has now been clarified.
Well, what was clarified was that there were 110 classified documents that were emailed. So what was she doing there? Was she throwing people under the bus who she forced to send emails to her public server? Mark, what was she doing there?
She's trying to move on.
Yeah. And saying that they were complicit, perhaps complicit in emailing?
Like, where else could they email her?
She gave them no choice but to email on her homebrewed server, which, by the way, had less security, we learned from James Comey, than she had just gone with Gmail.
Ooh, that's not good. There's a lot of marketers there.
You all are being quiet.
Well, the one thing, listen, one thing I didn't really agree with, as far as Chaffetz was focusing on, was this notion that, you know, why are lawyers looking at their classified emails? Well, they're lawyers. I mean, they're confidential.
No, but they didn't have security clearance.
Yeah, so what?
What do you mean, so what? You have just proven why this is so bad. I can tell you this.
It's very cavalier to say your lawyer can have access to classified information.
But yet they're her lawyers. If they don't have security clearance, they are not to see classified material. If I had a lawyer when I was on Armed Services Committee and had information, top secret information about Al-Qaeda, I couldn't give that to a lawyer without any classified information, or I would be, like, indicted.
Well, I'm just not concerned that her lawyers are going to turn around and talk to North Korea, okay? But now here's the thing that I think is the problem. Wait
a second. If they don't have security clearance, it doesn't matter who they are. They can't have those documents.
You're being legal. I'm being practical.
No. I'm following like what, 200 years maybe of classified documentation. I mean, you can't just say any lawyer can have top secret information.
Okay, I'm just responding as a citizen. I'm not so concerned about her lawyer seeing some classified material. You're talking about a legal precedent or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Here's what I do think.
Talking about classified
Joe, we were
material.
at the hearing. Here was the interesting moment in the hearing, which I do think is problematic. Is Comey was so good through the whole thing. The only question he appeared to be unprepared for, and was interesting in his response, was when he was asked whether or not they were looking at the Clinton Foundation. And there was kind of a moment there where, you know, he didn't just say it's not our practice not to speak. He said, I can't answer that.
Right.
There was kind of a moment that was like, that's interesting.
Mark?
Well, you're supposed to say that, whether there's an investigation or not. Look, she was cavalier about two things. She was cavalier about the handling of classified information and about the Freedom of Information Act. So with regard to her lawyers, they did two things that I think, again, just show her attitude about how cavalier she was. One, she let people without classified clearance look at classifiid information. And two, they claimed definitively that the lawyers had read all 60,000 emails, carefully make sure that all work-related emails were turned over. Then it was determined when she talked to the FBI that they didn't read them. They looked at headers and they did searches, but they didn't spend the time, as the FBI did, reading every one. Therefore, she did not make certain, even at that late date, after this had already become an issue, that the public had access to every government-related email.
And what's the issue with the Clinton Foundation? Why do you think that's interesting?
I don't know. I just made it appear like maybe they are looking at that.
Well, like why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why would they be looking at the Clinton Foundation?
What would be a reason why?
I don't know. I mean, but it made it appear like there's something in the Clinton Foundation, or somehow it intersects with this in a way that has gotten their interest. I have no idea.
What Republicans would say is that people gave money to the foundation and then got special treatment from the State Department. Yeah, that's what Republicans.
Also, some journalists would say the same thing.
Some journalists.
Ron Fournier, I don't think, is a registered Republican.
like buying access.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, there were, by the way, what a week to come back with a circus.
It's a circus out there. There were peaceful protests last night in
Epic,
Memphis.
tragic, historic.
Yeah. Shutting down a major interstate